After I found my way back, unfortunately I have to say, after I got back from the United States to Europe, I had a very good chance to drive for one of the oldest teams in racing here in Germany, which was for Alpina BMW. They introduced their new GT3 car, and I was actually part of the whole development of the car, and got a big chance to start up with the new car, to learn more about GT cars in general, and had a very good chance with them to also learn the car, set up the car, and also develop a brand new GT car, which was very good for me. And I did that for 2 years. I had a very good test with the new Mercedes SLS GT3, and decided to get on with the Mercedes brand, which was maybe not the best idea after Alpina this year now won the championship. But I have to say, we didn't know what's going on after the end of last season. We had a lot of problems with the car because the first 2 years the Alpina always ran the compressor engine, and because that was one of the series engines for the road cars, for the B6, and they really wanted to run that engine in their GT race car, which didn't really work. So at the end of last year, when I decided to change the brand, which was not an easy decision for me, nothing was clear what's even gonna happen with Alpina, and I wanted the certainty that I can test early for the season, for the upcoming season, because we knew that the GT Masters series will be very tough this year. Well, they are sort of the same, I have to say. They all have a long wheelbase, they are both heavy cars, but you have to say that the Mercedes is a little bit easier to drive. All the electronics and the traction control and braking, the ABS and everything just works a little bit smoother, what you would expect from a Mercedes. But overall, they are both very good cars. I think the Mercedes is still a little bit too heavy, what we saw this year. It's still too rough on the tires, especially towards the end of the race when the tire wear really gets into play. But I think Alpina just used their advantage of having 2 more years of experience with the car, and I think that Mercedes definitely will get there. I choose the GT Master series just because I wanted to race in the most competitive GT series, which is out there in Europe, and the GT Master series this year had 16 races. We had overall always over 40 cars which were competing with 10 different manufacturers, and especially very good drivers. As an example, former Formula 1 drivers like Heinz-Harald Frentzen, and Formula 1 test drivers, former Red Bull Formula 1 test drivers, and ex-DTM drivers. So that the field was very competitive, and I think you just can prove yourself as a driver in a very good field. And that's what I think what we did this year. I mean, we won the first race ever for the Mercedes GT3. You totally have to make a difference to racing and business. I mean, it's both very important for me, and you have to be a full professional in both ways. So I always try just to shut off when I leave, or turn everything off when I leave the office, and just focus fully on racing. I mean, it's not easy sometimes when you are as involved as I am, but I do my best, and so far I can handle it well. Certainly sometimes it would help if I would have not as much stress in my office or business time, but again, it's also something I like to do, and it's a lot of fun for me also. And same thing for racing. Both things are me. It's just me, and I couldn't think at the moment to do not one of them. But again, I always try to focus 100% what I'm doing, so when I leave the office it's all behind, and then I focus on the Thursday before the race weekend. I just see racing until Monday when I come back to the office, and that's what I always try to do. Well, I mean, it's still early. When I signed for Mercedes, it was definitely a 2-year plan. So I assume I definitely will sit in that car. You never know in racing, as you probably know as well, but there is a plan, that you always listen to other people, what they have to offer or anything else. But the first thing must be to be in a very competitive seat for next year in the GT Masters, because I really think that the series will improve again, which makes it even harder then also. Definitely would like to do a race or two, or even maybe coming back to North America sometime. If it is the ALMS or whatever other series also, I would be very interested to do 1 or 2 races maybe in Australia at the V8 Supercars. Surfers Paradise would be very interesting. I mean, we were a little bit late this year because for the big surfers race now, because we are going to test something else, and but this is definitely something I would like to do next year if possible.